Well, the groundhog didn't see its shadow, which means we're going to have an early spring, and I can't wait. I'm not built for cold weather, and I don't like cold weather, and I'm ready to get camping. But anyways, until then, I have 6 envelopes today on my workbench to open up. I'm going to try to speed through this one so it doesn't make a long video. So let's get into these 6 envelopes and see what we got on today's Mailbag Monday. So the first one comes to me from Denver, Colorado. Never been to Denver. Wouldn't mind going one day. Not right now. I bet you it's pretty cold up there right now. Alright, what we have here is a roller coaster postcard. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the Timber Topper. This was at Opryland, which was in Nashville, Tennessee. Yep. Now, Opryland closed in the late 90s. I think it was 98, 99, somewhere in that area. Basically, they built a mall and hotel, and I actually saw a documentary here a while back on it. And some of the CEOs and stuff, they never really gave a good reason why they closed it. It was still profitable, making money, very popular. So, anyways, I went to Opryland in 96, I think it was, with a school trip. And I remember riding this. It was a different name. I'll put the name on the screen here, what it was then. They changed the name sometime. Anyways, the park closed down, and this ride, this roller coaster actually was bought and moved to another theme park. I can't remember what it's called or where it was at, but I'll put it down here on the bottom of the screen where it's at and everything. But yeah, it was just kind of interesting, little piece of nostalgia from the Opryland theme park that I got to go see back in my teen years, I guess you'd say. And the next one comes to me from St. Louis, Missouri. Now, I've been to Kansas City, Missouri, but never St. Louis that I know of. Isn't that where the arch is at, the St. Louis Arch? I'd like to go see that. I think that'd be pretty interesting to go up and the top of it and see. But until then, I'll just stick where I'm at. Okay, this is a Natchez Trace postcard. Now, there's not a lot of postcards for the Natchez Trace, but when I came across this one, it was very interesting. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to pick up on the camera, but if you look, it shows all of the, let's just say the main points of interest along the Natchez Trace Parkway from Natchez, Mississippi to Nashville, Tennessee. And when I traveled on the Trace here last year, I stopped at every single one of these. So I thought that was kind of cool. Number 2, I've never seen a postcard like this. So when I got it, well, when I saw it, excuse me, I went ahead and bought it. It wasn't too much. And when I saw it, I just didn't even debate about it, went ahead and bought it. Because like I said, I've never seen one before. Now, this one is actually postmarked from 1974. So this postcard is from the 70s. And I thought it was pretty interesting to see, you know, a little roadside map of the Natchez Trace Parkway. So this next card comes to us from St. Paul, Minnesota. Now, I've never been to St. Paul, Minnesota. I want to say I have an acquaintance that lives up that way. And, yeah, I get to see him about once a year. Comes down to the local camp out that we have. Anyway. This is from Crow's Nest Postcards. They always send in a postcard with their postcards. It's funny. They change periodically to have a little funny saying or something like that, but, you know. And what we have here. Now, this looks like some roadside motels. Now, where is it from? Let's see here. There we go. Pascagoula Tourist Court. East of the city limits of Pascagoula, Mississippi, 17 cottages, completely modern kitchenettes, walking distance to business district, 1 block from Pascagoula's finest restaurant. Now, I live on the east side of town. Or did live on the east side of town, I guess you'd say. I don't remember this being out there. Now, out on Highway 90, which I'm thinking this is what this road is. there was some places that were long gone before I was born. And this could have been one of them. Looking at the colors and everything, looks like it's probably 60s, 70s, somewhere in that time frame. I'm going to do a little research and see if I can find out where this was at. But it says walking distance to business district. The business district of town is more on the west side of town, so that's kind of what kind of confuses me. So I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to do a little research, asking some of the groups and stuff, history groups around the area, see if they remember where this was at. And I don't know. This is interesting. I never saw one like this. I have another tourist court from the area, but it's on the opposite side of town, the west side of town. More commonly known as Goshen, Mississippi now. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting when I saw it, and it wasn't too quite expensive, so I went ahead and grabbed it for the local history postcard collection. You know, I just realized I don't have coffee today. Well, a typical Monday. Anyways, this next one comes to me from Champaign, Illinois. I'm not sure where Champaign, Illinois is. I've never heard of that. But this one's going to give me a little bit of trouble, looks like. There we go. All right. This is Six Flags over Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. I think the area is called Austell, technically where it's at. It's one of those areas that you move in, you go into, and you don't realize you left the city limits and you're in a different city. Anyways, this is postmarked. Nope, no postmarked. Eye in the sky area of the aerial view of Six Flags over Georgia, a historical theme park and fun entertainment located just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this was the last theme park or amusement park, however you want to look at it, that Six Flags ever built from the ground up. If I'm not mistaken, they only built two. The original one that is Six Flags over Texas. They built that one from the ground up, if I'm not mistaken, and then they later built this one from the ground up. Every other one was purchased and remodeled according to their standards, that sort of thing. So Six Flags, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I'm right, they only built two theme parks from the ground up, and this was the second and last one. Now, the park has drastically changed since then. There's a roller coaster here, there's a bigger one here, there's one that goes across the lake and turns around. There's one back here in the back. There's also one over in this area too, if I'm not mistaken. Looking at this photograph and time frame, I'm going to guess this is probably from the 70s. Now, there's no date mark on it anywhere, but I'm just guessing, and just from the history I know of the park. I went there in 99 or 2000, actually. One of the two. Buddy and I wanted to ride this brand new roller coaster that was kind of back in this area here. And we traveled 8 hours to get there, whatever it was. And we get there and the stupid thing wasn't even open yet. So, this was back before we all had cell phones and internet was not as well versed or well out there as it is today. So we just saw they were building a roller coaster and figured it would be open when the park opened up for the season, and it wasn't. It opened like 3 or 4 months later. They had a lot of issues with it. Never got to ride it, though. I digress. Anyways, this is just one of those postcards, a nice historical look at one of my, not my favorite theme parks, but one that I really enjoyed back in the day. I'd like to get back up there here soon, take the family up there, and we'll get there one day. Orlando, Florida is where this envelope comes from. I know where Orlando's at. Haven't been there in a couple years, but I have a sneaky feeling that's going to change this year. In fact, I know it's going to be changing. I'll be there. I'm going to Orlando. This is the General Jackson. Now, This was a riverboat that I think they had a little show on and a dinner cruise, that sort of thing. That was at Opryland. As you can see, I kind of got a little Opryland kick. Anyways, whenever I was at Opryland during that school trip, we actually did the dinner tour. It goes up and down the, I can't think of the river's name. I want to say it's the Tennessee River. I'm probably wrong. Oh, man. Anyways, if I'm wrong, I'll put it here at the bottom of the screen. But anyways, I remember going on. It was just like a basic fried chicken type dinner. Nothing fancy about it, but we enjoyed it. It was okay. It was kind of a way to keep the teenagers at bay in the evening time instead of us roaming the hotel. But it was fun. We enjoyed it. I don't think it's running anymore. It might be. I'm gonna have to go look. I haven't looked into it enough as I should have for this. It may be still running. Anyway, so this postcard is probably 80s or 90s. No real way to tell as the ship doesn't change colors or change styles or anything. There's no way to tell. There's no date on it anywhere. No. Anyways, it was kind of one of those. It wasn't very much money, so I went ahead and grabbed it just for the historical value of the theme park and the fact that I actually got to ride on the General Jackson. And like I said before, the weather down here is in the mid to upper 60s, and I know one thing for sure: I'm glad I'm not in Westchester, New York. That just sounds cold right now. I'm literally sitting here in shorts and short sleeves, and they're probably up there bundled up and trying to head to Florida. Anyways, these are giving me problems today. These hard or cardboard thick paper envelopes. Anyway, there we go. Okay. Now, I saw this postcard here very recently. This is probably one of the last ones I picked up. It's one of those ones that when I saw it, I absolutely just bought it. I didn't question the price. It wasn't too much. It was less than $5. Because of I don't want to say the rarity of it, but the scarcity of it. It's not seen very often. This is an aerial view of my hometown of Pascagoula, Mississippi. Now, there's no postmark on it. Now, I can probably date this card through a couple of different ways. Now, if you watched my previous Mailbag Monday video, this right here was the L'Enfant Inn. In fact, there is the card of the L'Enfant Inn, and there is Highway 90, which is right there. That is the 14th Street Bridge overpass. They built that bridge so when trains get backed up because of that train bridge out there, sometimes it broke down, the trains would get backed up and nobody could get across town from north to south, so they built that bridge in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. I remember them actually building that. So this postcard is either late 80s or early 90s. We have the Singer River Hospital right here. There's Medical Plaza, West Build Materials building, and it looks like it's still got cars in it. West Build Materials closed down in 99. So this postcard is not older than 99. I actually used to work there back in the day. So this card is probably most likely the 90s. There's a Ford dealership there, a Chevrolet dealership there, the used car dealership, that sort of thing. Yeah, this card is probably, I'm going to say late 80s to early 90s. I don't see any other thing in here that I could date this with that rings a bell. But anyways, just kind of a cool card that shows you probably about a third of the city. The city is about 15,000 people in it. Sometimes it fluctuates with the economy. We have Ingalls Shipbuilding out here on the west bank, and then there's the east bank of the Pascagoula River, that another part of Ingalls. Yeah, it was just a cool piece of history. Wait a minute. That right there, those little blocks, those were apartments. I don't know the real name of it. It was called Carver Village. It was low-income housing. They shut that down, I think they shut it down in mid-90s. So this car is probably early 90s at the latest. So kind of gives you a good idea of what this time frame for this is. But yeah, like I said, this is a cool piece of local history that when I saw it and it was at a good price, I figured why not go ahead and get it. And that concludes this week's Mailbag Monday. Kind of some interesting postcards, I guess you say. Some local ones here that I remember, some that I don't remember, and then a couple ones that I remember from recent trips and past trips and even longer trips, later trips. But everything that I bought actually have a historical significant connection to. So just some interesting stuff. Not a whole lot of great variety, but it's an interesting variety. It's not the Lookout Mountain stuff that I've been getting here. So I'm kind of glad to see the variety and add some variety to the collection of my postcards. I'm going to try to get, I've been saying this for a while, I'm going to try to get into my binders and probably do a couple videos on those. Just go through those real quick. Just kind of show off my collection. I know a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but the ones that are watching these videos, they like the collection. So I'll kind of show off what I got a little bit, I guess, and get a little content on the channel. But yep, the weather's getting better, hopefully. Right now it's actually raining. But once the rain stops and the weather gets better, I'm going to do some more camping. And got a little trip I'm planning, kind of like I did with the Natchez Trace, but not as long. More of a road trip, somewhat local. My traveling budget's a little bit tight this year. Like I said, we're going to Orlando, and you know it's in Orlando, and everything there is expensive, from my understanding. But anyways, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do with that little trip. I got to plan some logistics with it, so we'll see how that goes. But once I get closer, probably that'll be happening in April or May, kind of weather dependent, and you know, like I said, finances and things like that. But anyways, just some of the postcards here I got today. And if you ever been on the General Jackson, the Natchez Trace, or you remember riding that roller coaster, have you ever been to Six Flags Over Georgia? What was your favorite ride there? What was your favorite ride at Opryland, if you've ever been? Let me know in the comments below. I'm pretty partial to roller coasters, so you can kind of guess what my favorite ride was at Opryland. But anyways, I appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you next time.